Hello, my name's Rich Hanlon. Welcome back to this segment of My Wild Neighbors, and today I'm excited to be with you here at Ives Run Recreation Area at the shores of Hammond Lake. And one of the things I'm really excited to show you is that as the springtime bird migrants continue to show up here again in north central Pennsylvania, there are some particular species of water birds that are showing up out here on the water at Hammond Lake. Now we have buffleheads, which are, now they're really far out, so I don't think I'm going to be able to show you buffleheads today. They look black and white when you see them out on the water, and so the males have very dark coloration, but they have a big white patch on the back side of the head, and the females just have a little white spot on the side of the head. Like I said, buffleheads are probably not going to get a good look at today, but I do want to allow you to take a look through my spotting scope because we have some other birds that are a little bit closer in, and these ones, let's see if we can get a good close look at them. Maybe these are called horned grebes. All right, so let me see if I can focus in on them for you. Right. Here we go. Okay. All right, so here's a nice group of, where'd they go? There they are. Whoa! Hold still. I'm talking to myself here. Okay, there they are. So that's a nice, what's called a raft of horned grebes. When you have a group of water birds, it's called a raft. And so there's the horned grebes. That looks like there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, maybe 10 of them. And these are called horned grebes because, so while in their breeding plumage they're mostly brown, like dark brown, they have they have a golden brown tuft on either side of their head, and that's why they're called horned grebes. Now these guys, they're out over the deep water because now a lot of times you'll see ducks hanging out in proximity to where they like to forage for food, and in the case of the grebes, they will go after things as small as aquatic insects and as large as a medium-sized fish. As long as they can fit it into their mouth, they'll go after it. I've been amazed at the size of some of the things that I've seen grebes successfully eat. And so that's the horned grebes that are here, and they'll breed farther north, but it's always nice to see them passing through. And if we pan over to our right, we have a nice flock of ring-billed gulls, and I think the gulls will be easier to get in the scope for you, allow you to take a closer look. Okay. Here we go. Oh wow, they're cooperating very good today. Okay, so let me show you the ring-billed gulls, and you'll be able to see why they're called ring-billed gulls. So here's the gulls, and there's okay, the one scratching his head there, that's a juvenile. Notice he's kind of got a little bit of brown mottling on him, and his head's not quite all white. The adults have a head that there's an adult in the middle of the frame there. He's scratching his wings there with his beak, preening. Let's see, whenever he puts his head back up, you'll be able to see that they're called ring-billed yawn. Oh! They're called ring-billed gulls because they have that black ring around their yellow beak, and the adults have yellowish legs. And these guys, gulls will eat a lot of different things. They love fish. They'll eat a lot of different things. and these guys will breed farther north around the Great Lakes, but there's also a few that hang around to breed at some of our larger lakes every year. And so each year I think there may be a couple that breed in this vicinity and up around Kawaneski too. At least I can find them year-round. So that's the ring-billed gulls, and they're being very calm right now. They're just kind of having their mid-morning relaxation time. But when they get really worked up during the breeding season, you should hear it. They extend their necks and throw their heads back and make this funny noise. It's I don't want to call it a song, but it's their breeding call, like it sounds something like that. Alright, so we've got buffleheads way out there. We've got loons, common loons. Yesterday I saw one way out by the Pine Camp area. Of course, we have our horned grebes, our ring-billed gulls. There are bald eagles hanging around, and the ospreys are building their nests again. And I want to acknowledge that sometimes we put so much of a focus on the larger animals, the large, small animals that are walking around, flying around, that we tend to overlook some of the other things that we may take for granted. So I want to point out a couple of different trees right here. So right here we have a speckled alder tree, and these are very prolific around here. You see the whole shoreline over there. A lot of the shoreline at Ives Run is lined with speckled alder trees, and I can show you the male and the female parts of this tree. Here's the female part with the cones, right? Here's the male part. That's called a catkin. Right? It's a catkin, and birch trees also have catkins. So that's a catkin, and it's called speckled alder because, check this out. Look at the bark. Let's see if we can focus on this here. Come on. See that speckling on the bark there? That's why it's called speckled alder. And right next to it here, the neighbor of the speckled alder is a box elder tree. And so this is a box elder tree. They do really well in moist, fertile soils. And one of the really cool things I'm noticing about this right now is the flowering part of this plant is tree is starting to emerge. And check that out. It's like a deep red flowers emerging. Very beautiful. So there's a lot to appreciate out here at Ives Run Recreation Area this morning. So let's finish off this video by taking a little walk out to this little peninsula here at the edge of the parking lot, the boat launch parking lot, and just give you a little panorama view of the lake. And I'll try not to fall in the water myself here. Whoop. There we go. Got a nice rock to stand on. I'll just pan and allow you to see the full beauty of Hammond Lake at this time. Well, thank you for joining me on this wildlife tour. I hope you have enjoyed our time here at Ives Run Recreation Area as much as I have, and I will see you next time.